All right, kind of want to give an update on this unit. I have so far gotten the power steering hooked up and vacuum pump. Sorry, I'm walking away from the camera. Yeah, I got gauges, power steering, vacuum pump. That's pretty much the only thing I've gotten done since the last. Oh, and I got the electric fan working too. So now I am replacing my voltmeter or volt gauge with this was a 3 combo water temp, volt, and oil pressure. I'm gonna move the oil pressure. I'm gonna actually move it up to here and just clock it to where it's level. And I'm going to replace this volt gauge with this one with a nice decent brand with good reviews. And I am going to yeah, pretty much get that in there and get that replaced, because the one that's in here now is the Amazon El Cheapo, and it yeah, it works, but I don't know what's going on with it. It gets stuck at like 12 when it's really 14. Then it jumps up to 14, and then when I turn it off, it gets stuck down at 10. So I was like, yeah, I should have just got a tri-hole bezel and just got all Equus, I think that's how you say that, Equus brand gauges. My boost gauge is a Bosch gauge. So yeah, that's it. We're in here, and under the hood I actually did put some miles on this unit too. I don't know why I keep saying unit. So I got a little bit of miles on it, and I can say that the water temperature, I couldn't remember what degree thermostat I got. I think I figured it out now. It's like 180 degree thermostat, because it doesn't get any higher than that, and it drops down and goes up to 180 and drops down. So yep. And the electric fan thermostat, I do have it on at 185 and off at 175, and that's there. That's a ground control to this relay, which powers my electric fan, and it works. This power steering is the power steering vacuum pump power steering combo from a 98 model Dodge 2500 with the 5.9 or a 98 5.9 Cummins. That was pretty simple and straightforward to install. Yeah, it's a little dark out, and I don't have my flashlight. So the power steering, I did have to like mock up something. The vacuum pump, I just directly plugged the brake booster straight into it. And the power steering, oh, I did have to, let me get my flashlight and use my phone. I had to take off the oil fill for the block. There's the plate for the front timing case. I did have to take the oil fill off the side of the block because it wouldn't fit with the power steering pump. So I got an expansion plug and put in that hole, or one of the rubber expansion plugs, and put in the hole. So yeah, there's that. And the pressure line I did buy for obviously the Dodge, because that's the Dodge pump, and Ford fittings wasn't threaded into the back of it, so I had to make something work. With that truck, I pretty much done an air hydraulic conversion, so my Hydro Boost, all those parts and lines are in the toolbox, and I actually used the Dodge pressure line from the pump to the Hydro Boost, and my Hydro Boost 90 elbow threaded into the Dodge hose, which the factory F150 pressure hose threaded into the back of the F350 adapter. So made it work out. And I just bolted the bracket onto the radiator fan bolt, upper shroud bolt. Yeah, upper shroud. That's the shroud, not the fan. The fan is inside of the shroud. And then pretty much zip tied that so it wouldn't vibrate and cause issues. And then return, still the factory return. Now, the Dodge power steering pump, sorry about my camera marksmanship here. The Dodge power steering pump, I don't have any clamps on it. I just like pushed them on there and they were actually pretty snug. It has 2 returns. I think it was one from the steering box and one from the Hydro Boost, if I remember reading that correctly. So I put a brass T in it and just ran them both returns to the both little barbs. So that's it for steering, and it works amazing. Yeah, it was a pain trying to drive this thing and turn it around a cul-de-sac with the power gear, turning it manually. Yeah, even when the truck was moving, it sucked. But I overcame that. Also, when I had first took it on a test run, I didn't get to film it. I'm sorry. Don't worry. My next video will be a on-road test. I promise. So I gotta turn the idle now just a hair. It's just a smidge too high. Now, when I did the test run, I screwed with it for an hour until I figured out what was really wrong. So, if you know anything, if anybody knows anything about these VE pumps, they have a AFC. I can't tell you exactly what that stands for. All I know is it's a smoke control, which is a emission thing. It doesn't push fuel. Yeah, it doesn't allow, you know, to give it the full, I guess, yeah, the full fuel dosage until it has boost via this little hose here that goes between the intake and the top of this housing. So there's a diaphragm in here. It builds boost, it pushes it down, and that in turn has a little ramp. I wish I can pull it out and show you, but I can't because it won't not come out. Kind of explain that here. The front of the housing here, there is a little cover right there. It's got an Allen screw, or an Allen, you know, recess. I pulled that plug out, and that gives me access directly to the fuel plate that moves back and forth when you move the throttle. Now, in turn, with the diaphragm pushing down on the fuel rod, which I call the fuel rod because it goes straight up and down. It doesn't do anything else, but it allows the fuel pin to retract and, oh gosh, yeah, allows it to ascend and descend. So, well, ascend and descend, and then retract and pull back. Either way, throttle tension pushes that forward, which pushes it into this housing, and in turn this diaphragm rod gets pushed down, and it allows that fuel pin to move in, giving the, you know, dosing collar a different angle or a different travel on the rotary injection rod inside of the pump. It's a lot of pieces, trust me. So that actual fuel pin was stuck in here, so I had to pretty much manually take a screwdriver, push in there, and get that thing freed up. So I got it freed up, I pushed down on the diaphragm rod, and everything worked like it's supposed to. So in turn with that, yes, it smokes a little bit, not enough to cause any crazy harm. So I cranked that screw all the way down and pretty much pushed that diaphragm down as far as it'll go, which in turn giving it pretty much all the fuel that the factory, I guess the factory maximum that it'll give. And I did end up losing one of the copper washers on the back of here. So yeah, I didn't want a boost leak, and it still gave me no power. So now it makes about 12 pounds of boost. I'm not turning the camera to you. So now it makes 12 pounds of boost, and it's pretty fun. It holds 55 miles per hour pretty damn well. Yeah, as far as RPMs go, I have not figured out what I want to do with the tachometer. I pretty much drive by feel and by ear anyway. I don't really look at the tach. But it'd be nice to have for idle purposes. I can just feel idle. I just know it's too high right now. yeah, whatever the factory specs are on RPM range with the 4-speed transmission. I don't even know what rear end gears in this thing's probably. I really don't know. I hadn't done much research on the axle. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it won't focus. Axle code 18. I'll have to do some research on that. But yeah, that's it for now. Do some more out and in stuff, move the gauges around, replace some gauges, make sure they're working. I do have to wire the lights up on them so it'll come on when the park lights are turned on. Oh, and I have to also replace the headlight switch, because this one is stuck. So I figured it'd be easiest just to put a new one in it. Yep, that's it. A little later. See you on the next one.